Hi guys, Sarah, the owner and creator of Multifarious Nature. Thank you for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out my channel, and if you enjoy the content, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below and the bell for notification. That will let you know when I post a new video. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and seeing what's new with Multifarious Nature. I so appreciate it. And I'd love to hear your comments. So if you want to comment below about anything in the video, that would be awesome. So bear with me. I'm trying to get used to a slightly different setup than I'm used to. So if I'm looking away, it's because I am using a laptop now to try to do videos, because I believe I can make longer videos using the laptop versus my cell phone is what I was using before. And I actually have new lighting equipment that was gifted to me for Christmas, so all kinds of new stuff. So bear with the weirdness of trying to look at you guys and do all these, look all over the place. So again, I'm sorry if I look away. But no shop update today. Happy New Year. It's 2021. So I spent time with family and didn't do any dyeing or creating for Multifarious Nature. So everything I've been working on has been just for fun, knitting, while I spend time with family. So that to be said, I have some finished objects this time, guys. And I also am still working. I have one work in progress at the moment. So the work in progress is the Leander shawl. So I'm going to start with that. And this is just using yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's Yarn Bee yarn, and this is an alpaca blend, so you can see it's kind of that fluffy, beautiful colors, nice soft colors. And then I'm also using, this is, I believe Yarn Bee is the brand of this as well, and it's a wool blend, very, very soft. And it came in a pack of, I think, 6 different colors. So I had 2 packs that include this color. So I think it's about 100 grams of the gray. And I am just in the middle of a row, of course. Let's see here. But with this pattern, it's better to kind of finish in the middle of the row, I've found, in certain parts of the pattern. So like I said, this is the Leander shawl, and it's by Jane Venslos, and I believe you can find it on Ravelry. I know you can find it on expressionfiberarts.com. That's where I found it, and it was free at the time. I believe you have to pay for it now. They do promotions where periodically patterns are free, so if you keep an eye on their website, you may have the pattern you have your eye on for sale or for free. And this is what I've got so far. A lot of progress. So let's see. Here we go. There's my progress keeper. So here's where I was about 2 weeks ago. Not a ton of progress, but that's because I was working on my other pieces that are finished, and now I'm working on my Leander shawl. So I actually have quite a bit of it done, as you can see. And if you recall from my previous episodes, the lace work down here definitely screwed up at some point. And my stitch count's off. I'm off by about 20 stitches. I'm 20 stitches short. So I think what happened is one of the rows is a repeat of a whole section. You do a whole section and then you repeat that whole section. I think I missed repeating the whole section. I definitely think that happened. It seems easy that could have happened. So I'm pretty sure that I missed a repeat. So that's why I'm short stitches. I am not going to rip back though. I did this, I'm sorry, wow, I am really blasting this out, but there's lace work here in this next section that I did, and that seems to be good. I think I'm good on my stitches now. I am still short stitches, but I think I am on the correct either even or odd count, that when I do my pattern, it's matching up correctly. I think so. Pretty sure. I don't know. It looks okay though. There's just little lace bits here. and they kind of look like little flowers. It's really hard to tell when it's not blocked, but the lace work is supposed to kind of create like a little floral motif, so it's really pretty. And I love this texture that it's because of the pattern repeat, which I don't really want to say because I think it might be a paid for pattern at the moment, but it just is creating this beautiful texture, which the lighting I think is gonna kind of blur it out a little bit. So, oh well, I'm learning here, guys. I can see it a little bit better over here. Here we go. So yeah, it creates a really neat pattern. I'm alternating the gray and then my tonal color here, or variegated yarn color. So by alternating those, it's creating like a striping kind of look here, but it's very subtle. And that's the same in this area, that striping variegation going on. So it's really very, very beautiful colorway. The name of that variegated yarn colorway is Delish Boutique Yarn, and the colorway is Plum Bunny. I don't know if that colorway is still available. It may be discontinued, but it was from a Hobby Lobby. So if you have Hobby Lobby near you, or maybe a Michaels, I'm not sure if Yarn Bee yarn is strictly for Hobby Lobby. Oh, nope, it is. It's hobbylobby.com on there. So Yarn Bee yarns, only Hobby Lobby. If you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you, I'm sorry. You could probably order it online. They do have, you can order yarn online. I haven't done it before, but I have looked up yarn online. So they do have it available. Not necessarily that colorway, but they do have yarn available online. So that is the Leander shawl. So a bit more done on that. But I've got a lot more to do on it. So, but I hopefully will get through that. I'll probably be getting through it slower coming up here, and I'll explain why shortly. But let's get on to the finished projects. So for finished projects, I have the Brick Sweater by Claire Lee, and I'm actually wearing it. So this is by, what was it? Claire Lee is the designer, and I didn't bring the pattern with me, but it is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's amazing. So it's a really versatile pattern where it has variations, so you can do either taper, like sleeves that start to taper, and so they will be slightly more fitted, or you can do the untapered sleeves where it's just straight. You can also do the same thing with the body. So you can either do a tapered body where it has shaping, so it actually has some shaping, or you can do just the unshaping pattern where it just is the straight down. So it's versatile. Each section you can kind of do it the way you want. So I did do a couple different things. So the base, the main part of the body, I did, you can see my little mess up here, it's kind of quirky and funny, but I did color work. So the main pattern is just basic, like just use one color and you create it, and it has the ribbing around your collar, it has ribbing on the bottom, and it has ribbing on your sleeves. And well, yes, I would have probably done that. I just worked with some yarn that I had. So I had found this yarn on eBay for a very reasonable price, and it's a very rustic Lopi yarn, so it's very lightweight and fluffy, and pretty much an unspun yarn. So I don't know, it's Reynolds Lopi is what it was. So it's a discontinued company, and I mean, they don't sell this yarn anymore, but you can get other yarns that are probably similar. I know there's a lot of Icelandic yarn. That's what this is, Icelandic yarn. There's like, I'm probably gonna say it wrong because I don't know Icelandic, but like the Lot Lopi or Holt Lopi, I think that's one of them. Those are unspun yarns, and I'm actually gonna get some of that soon to do in my next project. But that's what this is. So it's very lightweight. and I used a very large gauge. So I used size 9 knitting needle for this. It did call for a 7 and a 9, and that's what I used. So I did use the correct sizing. This did end up a little more oversized than I was anticipating, but it's really comfortable, and I love that. So I went with the large, and I guess it had quite a bit of positive ease. I didn't know the positive ease. That's the one thing this pattern doesn't really tell you, the positive ease. I don't remember really seeing anything about positive ease, but there's quite a bit of positive ease. So this is the size large, and I think it estimated for a bust of 41, which mainly I tend to aim for like 40 for my sweaters, just so there's some positive ease and comfort. I don't want a super fitted sweater personally for myself, and this one had a lot of positive ease already built into it, so it's very comfortable and loose fitting. It's my arm, the bottom, my underarm is up here, so there's a lot of open air there, which makes it actually very comfortable. So when we traveled up north, northern Michigan, just the other day to visit my in-laws, they actually are there. It's cold, and I was able to wear this sweater with just a tank top under it while we're traveling, and I was extremely comfortable. And even, I mean, walking outside, I was still cold, but you know, if I was out there long term, that probably wouldn't be very comfortable. But for the most part, it was very comfortable, and I did block it. So I did, and by blocking it, I actually just washed it. I didn't like actually block it. I was very careful when I washed it, because when you get Lopi yarn wet, you can feel it just feels very delicate, because it is 100% Icelandic wool. So this is wool. The neat part is, because I did the color work, which I just kind of winged it on the color work, I did not have a pattern to go off of, totally winged it. And you can see that I kind of screwed up the stitch count here, because I ended up with 2 brown next to each other. I was trying to do like alternating every couple stitches. But the neat part is, I did this without shaping. So the body, I did not do any shaping, but with the color work, it tightens your gauge slightly, just slightly. So it actually created just a little bit of shaping, which is really nice. And then I've got the color work in the sleeves, which I tried to match up with the bust area, which it's close. It's slightly lower, but close enough that it looks okay. The sleeves are nice and long. These are nice and long sleeves. And so what I did is I just fold these up to wear it, and I like the little cuff. I think it's kind of cute and very comfy. So I did that, and then I did the green because I ran out of the brown. And I did. I used basically every ounce of brown that I had. I think I ended up with maybe half an ounce left, like just very little bit of the brown left. So I could not have done anything else in that brown. I do still have more of this gray color, which I got from the thrift store. And then this green I also got from the thrift store. This is a lighter weight yarn. I want to say it's a fingering, where this is closer to worsted weight or bulky, but it's between bulky and worsted. So this, I used the size 7 needle. This was a size 9. And then for the collar, I did, it's just ribbing, where it was knit 1, purl 1, all the way around. So I did 2 stripes of green, and then 2 stripes of the gray, and then 2 stripes green, 2 stripes gray, and alternated that. And did the Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy bind off for the cuffs, the base, so on the bottom, and on the collar. So it's very comfortable. Fits quite nicely, and just a nice relaxing sweater to lounge around in. So that's what I was looking for, and it turned out great. And it was a good experience for a long sleeve sweater. It's my second long sleeve sweater that I've ever made. So I learned some more techniques. I hadn't done this kind of ribbing or anything like that on a sweater before. And I actually did the raglan correctly on this one, because it was very, very easy to follow. And this was, instead of the bottom up, this is the first top down long sleeve sweater that I've ever made. So I got to learn some new techniques, and it went quite fast because it's a size 9 knitting needle. So I've not used a 9 yet, so it whipped up really quick. I mean, I think I started it near the mid-November, and I just recently finished it just after Christmas here. So about a month maybe-ish, month and a half, not even. It took me to do this sweater, and I'd consider myself just an average speed knitter. I'm not super fast by any means, so it's a great experience. And for a first time sweater knitter, I would think this would be a great pattern because you can just do all kinds of things with it, or you can just follow it basically and learn just the basics of sweater construction. So that was awesome and a joy to make. So that was, again, the Brick Sweater by Claire Lee. And my other finished project, guys, I'm so excited. So this took me 26 days, because I finished it the day after Christmas. And every single day, starting December 1st, I got a color yarn in a yarn advent. That was my Christmas gift this year. So every day I had to open a new color, and then I would knit with that color. There are certain days, because of the section of pattern, I actually had to wait because you need 2 colors to do brioche. So, but that is what the shawl is. So this is the Shake It Up shawl by Anna Joanna. It's huge, guys. I think it's Stephen West calls them a schlinket, so a shawl blanket. It is huge. It is absolutely wonderful. So warm and soft. I wear this pretty much every morning when I like to knit in the morning after I eat breakfast before I go to work. And this is just the right size to give you a nice cozy little hug while you're sitting there knitting. And it's just, and I did it. I did the tassels. You know how I said I wasn't sure I was going to do the tassels? I did actually do the tassels, and I'm glad I did, because it works with the shawl. It's fun and colorful. You can see all the different colors. So here's the brioche section I was talking about. There's a couple brioche sections, and those are 2 colors. So I had to wait 2 days to get those. And I did this shawl completely in the order of the Advent calendar, starting at this end with Yellowbird and working my way all the way to this end. And then on the inside, you'll see this looks like mirrored, right? Well, the reason that is because I did the Pathway colorway that day, and then I waited, and then I used, I'm trying to remember the name of this one, Baby's Breath. I used that one, and then that was for those 2 colors, and then I got to this color, Juniper, and when I did Juniper, I love that color so darn much. This is a beautiful color, and I used it all. I just wanted to use it all, so I used all my Juniper except for like a teeny little bit. And I wasn't done with the section yet. So each section was at least 2 colors. When I say section, I mean of the design. Each section I did at least 2 colors. For the brioche, I did 4 colors. But I didn't finish the section with the Juniper. I ran out. So I was like, well, what am I going to do? I kind of want to keep in the order of the pattern. So what I did is I just was like, well, why don't I just go the opposite? So I used the same color that I had up against it, just went in reverse. So after Juniper, then I did Baby's Breath, and then I did the Pathways colorway. So it created a really nice central area there, and I love that because it kind of framed, I'd say that's one of my favorite colors. There's quite a few colors in here that I really love. They're so pretty, and there are some that are wild and not really colors that I normally would make something out of, but because they're all combined, I just love it. This was so much fun and such a great experience, and I highly recommend it. I know Advent calendars are not they are not cheap by any means. They are quite expensive. So if you can't afford to get an advent calendar, which I understand, one thing that I heard recently on another podcast, it's the Hey Brownberry podcast, which if you haven't checked her out, I do highly recommend her podcast. She is so sweet sounding, and Mars, and I really enjoy listening to her podcast. She's just very relaxing to listen to and very positive. So one thing she mentioned that she did this year, so for 2020, or so I should say last year, she did not buy a yarn advent calendar. What she did is created her own. Now, she's just a lover of creating different things anyway, so she made a maker's advent calendar, is what she called it, where throughout the year, especially near the beginning of the year, she gathered up different items, like little scraps of material, because she likes to sew, little fiber clumps, because she likes to spin yarn, things like that. She wound those up and put them in little bags and or wrapped them up and put them in a box so that when December 1st came around, she could open each little item as a gift to herself, and they were things she completely forgot about because the whole year went by. So I kind of thought about doing that maybe this year. I don't know, I like that idea. Maybe having some little mini skeins that I might have, or if I don't have a lot, like if I have under 20 grams of yarn left in a certain color, maybe just wrapping that up and then putting it aside, so that way when December 1st comes around in 2021, I'd have a fun little advent calendar that, you know, didn't cost an arm and a leg, even though I completely understand why it costs what it does. There's a lot of work that goes into these colors, and being someone who dyes yarn, I understand. So it's worth the cost. But if you're in the position where you can't put that much money towards something like that, that's maybe a way that you can still have fun and go through each day experiencing, you know, that waiting and hope and joy that brings. So one other thing that I forgot to mention, so this was the last day, which it's really hard to see in video, but this was the 25th colorway. So that was an entire skein. So I had 24 colorways that were mini skeins, and the 25th day was a full-size skein, and it's opal, and it is beautiful. It is a like a sparkle skein, so it has silver, metallic, tinsel, if I'm saying that right, running through it, and you really can't appreciate it in the video. But it's very pretty, and I was really excited to put that on here because I thought that is just such a nice way to finish the shawl. So she gave me, A Chick That Knits is the company that made this advent. She gave me one full size, and then there's another full size as a gift included in there. And that was like a black, it was a black color, which would probably look okay with this too, but I just felt like with all the light colors variation and everything, for me personally, I felt like this color, blasting it out, this color opal just really complemented this shawl the best. Maybe if I'd done a different project, I could have used the black, but I feel like this shawl needed the opal. And I was so grateful that I did that pattern. It worked out so well with that advent calendar, and that was the Shake It Up shawl by Anna Joanna. Like I said, that is a paid for pattern, and she had a sale going on, which she may do it in the future, but it was like 25% off her patterns just prior to December. I think it was for Black Friday. It was 25% off her patterns, and I'm so glad that I purchased it because it was designed for 3 different skeins, so just 3 colorways. And I kind of thought, well, maybe it'll be okay if I do that with my advent calendar. It's a complete mystery as to how it would work and how it would look. I had no idea how the colors would look. And it has a lot of different fun techniques, though. That's what I was really looking forward to. So there's brioche in it, there's lace work, there's the I-cord bind off, which I love doing the I-cord bind off. It's the nicest edging to put on something. So this entire shawl has the I-cord bind off on it, and it looks so nice. It gives you good structure to the edge of your shawl. So highly recommend that pattern. Highly recommend. Very clear, easy to follow, and oh, such a joy to knit. I loved it. So so those are my finished objects. So the brick sweater and the shake it up shawl. And the next thing I want to talk about is upcoming projects. So I have a few, and this first one I'm going to talk about I am absolutely thrilled about. It's something I had not considered doing right away because as most of you know, when you knit, it's very time consuming and the materials are not inexpensive. So I was approached by someone to knit something for them as commission work, and I did agree to do it, and we did come to an agreement as to how that is all going to work. So the shawl, so I'm going to knit her a shawl and some fingerless gloves. I do not have the yarn yet. I ordered it and I'm waiting for it. And as most of you probably are experiencing right now, the Postal Service, the USPS, the UPS service, and FedEx, everybody's just running behind because there's a lot of mail going on right now, things coming through the mail. So I'm just waiting as patiently as I can for the material to come in. So I don't have that to show you, but I can show you at least the patterns that I'm going to be doing. So the shawl is going to be this Outlander Carolina shawl, Carolina shawl. And that's by Louise Bolanos. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but it looks gorgeous. So you can't really probably see it here. If I'm really savvy and somehow I'm able to put it in the video, I'll put a picture in the video, but I don't know if I'm that savvy technology wise, but it's very pretty. It's going to be a nice oversized shawl, so that'll be a lot like my Shake It Up shawl. So nice and big, because that's what she's looking for. And it has some striping. So the main color is going to be a dark gray, and then there's going to be some red striping, and then a nice navy stripe, I believe, at the bottom. But that's what I'm going to do for that. So that's going to be pretty much the main thing I'm going to be working on coming up here. That, and then she wants some cabled arm warmers, so fingerless gloves. That's what I'm going to do, is this pattern. It's cabled arm warmers. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that very well in the picture. But it's the cabled arm warmers is the pattern, and it's by Elise Piper. I'm of course going to include all this information down below for you guys. But again, these are both free patterns. I think you might be able to also pay for this pattern, but it is free. So if you're in a budget crunch and you want to do that pattern, it's free. And that fingerless gloves I'm going to do in red to go along with the shawl. So that's a commissioned piece that I'm going to be doing. So I'm very excited about that. That's my first time doing commissioned work when it comes to like larger garments with knitting. So excited about that. Very, very excited about that. So I'm going to be working mainly on that, and then for myself, something fun for me, and I'm again waiting for yarn for this one as well. I ordered it just a couple days ago, so I really don't expect to get this until maybe a week or so. But another free pattern. So this is the Pine Wood sweater. Oh, it looks so pretty, guys. So it has color work. It has some really beautiful stitch work that looks almost like trees down here. And then it's a 3/4 sleeve, which I like 3/4 sleeves. I like this sweater I'm currently wearing. It's a long sleeve, but 3/4 sleeves are really convenient for doing dishes and things of that nature. You know, you don't have and cooking, you won't have your sleeves in your way. So I'm really excited about making this one. I haven't made a 3/4 sleeve sweater yet. And this is going to be color work. I'm going to be doing the base in, it's going to be a Lopi. It's Pluto Lopi. I'm probably not saying that right, but it's Icelandic wool. And I'm going to be doing the base. It's a very earthy color, so it's brown, and it's more of a brown. It reads more of a brown. And it has kind of reddish brown striping through it, which I think will look really cool. And that's just part of the colorway. So that's going to be the base color I'm going to do. And then the color work section I'm going to do in this really deep wine plum color. I mean, really pretty and nice, like not a major contrast, but enough of contrast to be able to see it. And that'll be all the detailing color work that's up here in the yoke area and in the sleeves. And this is a top-down sweater. But I'm excited because, I mean, it's another learning experience. There's a lot of color work. It's a lot of charting here. And this Pinewood is by Andrea Yetman, and you can find it on Ravelry. That's where I found it. It is free. And then it's actually will redirect you, I believe, to Viscot. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. It's a Canadian, I believe. Canadian. I think they're out of Montreal or Quebec. Yarn company. And that's where she designed this pattern for, and it's out of their yarn. And yeah, it's Biscotte yarns. I'm probably saying it wrong. I probably am. And if you know how to say it, if you could like put it down below, but that's the company that this came from. So I'm very excited to do that one too. So that's selfish knitting for myself. And then the other one is going to be commissioned work, and I'll just enjoy the process because I love knitting. So that is, those are some big projects that I'll be working on coming up here. And then some, just because why not project is the two-tone Tawashi is the name of it. It's this crazy looking little spiral thing. So I, in the shower, usually use like a sponge or something for your body wash and all that. Well, my sponge is getting kind of old. I need to throw it out, and I've been hearing a lot of people doing like, reusable like bath towels and stuff and scrubbies. And so I was like, well, why can't I make one then for the shower? And I saw this when I was at the food store the other day, or at our local Meijer, which if you have a Meijer by you can find this there. And it's the Red Heart. I think they also carry this at Hobby Lobby, probably at Michael's, at least this brand. But it's called Scrubby. And this is the Jolly. It's very Christmassy colorway. But it has this like little twisted little spindles that stick out from the main fiber. So you can definitely knit with this by itself, but that would be a pain in the butt. I would think that would be really complicated to do. So what I'm going to do is hold it double with some cotton yarn. I'm not sure what color yet I'm going to do it. It's probably going to be really wild looking because it's going to be yarn I have in my little stash. But it's, I'm just going to hold some cotton double with it and probably just knit that up because I think this is a knit one. I usually do crochet, but yeah, this is a size 9 needles. It says straight needles, but I'm going to use circular needles because that's what I like to use. And you can kind of use circular needles interchangeably with straight needles. You do not have to use straight needles. But this is, again, a free pattern. There's so many wonderful free patterns, and I'm so grateful that so many designers are so willing to put them out there for free. Because, I mean, I would definitely, even though I paid for this one, but if she had done it for a free pattern, I would definitely purchase another pattern from Anna Joanna because her pattern was very clear, very easy to read, easy to follow, a lot of fun. So it's a good way, these free patterns are a good way for you to try out a pattern by a designer, and if you really like the way they write patterns, then you can patron them and actually pay for a pattern from them. So I'll definitely do that going forward. But yeah, this is just, I'm going to use a scrubby yarn with cotton yarn, and we'll see how that goes, and just try to make one or two little scrubbies that I can just throw in the wash then, and then use again after they get, a little funky. After you use them for a while, you just kind of want to wash them and freshen them up. So, a fun little project. So those are my next up projects. So some big ones, some small ones that hopefully will go quickly. But yeah, so I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. I would have definitely cast on, I know a lot of people are doing like a New Year's cast on. I definitely would have done that with that shawl, the Outlander Carolina shawl. I would have done that if I had the yarn, but I don't have it yet, so I just kept working on my Leander shawl. But if you have a New Year's cast on or something you just started, I'd love to hear about it. Please comment below and let me know what you're up to. Knitting, crocheting, any type of creative happenings, I'd love to hear about it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Hope you're staying happy and healthy, and I hope you're creating. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Take care. Bye.